Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothed the grass, which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. To the kingdom of Israel!
Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua.
The election, an aristocracy, meaning rule of the best, a group or class considered superior to others, a government by the best men in the state, a governing body composed of the best men in the state, and that's the elect. We're about to have it all right? Psalms 37 and verse 11, and it reads, "But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." That word for peace in the Hebrew is shalom, which goes into safety, soundness in body, meaning we're going to truly have rest, welfare, health, prosperity, peace, quiet, tranquility, contentment. So we're going to fully enjoy the planet Earth. We're going to rule and exist within the Lord's creation as we were created to do. I'm ready to rule the world, man. How about you?
Let the golden light of this sunset guide our hearts in peace.
Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Yourselves bags which wax no, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakavadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakavadash. Pushing to get up out here. Shalom to the hopeful elect and believers and listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures to faith in Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai. All right, going into another morning news and prophecy. All right, going into all right, the happiness and the building up, all right, to the second coming of Yahweh Shai, all right, as we, were commanded, to watch, as well as pray, in these last days. A brother want to post that the book of Matthew chapter 26, okay, and 41, as we've been given command, by a great king, all right, Yahweh Shai, to watch and well as pray, that we enter not into temptation, okay, because we're coming into a time where we're going to be tried, our faith, is going to be tested, all right, because the Lord, is getting ready to bring, a time on the earth like never before, okay, and in that time we have to have faith in the midst of that. The Lord's going to see if our faith is genuine, okay, if we're really dead to this world, if we really believe, in the promises of the scriptures. Well, we have to go through these times, all right, and be tested to see if we have authentic faith, man. Okay. And we know one of the main things that this devil, is going to use is control by food. Okay. And he's going to use, crises after crises, and, event after event, and civil unrest and chaos and turmoil. And all these things are going to be tools that are used, all right, to usher people into this new world order. And at the same time, the Lord is going to be refining, all right, his hopeful elect, man. Okay. Yes, it's a 41 Bible shop, bro. So like if I said 21, Matthew 26 and 41, So like if I said 21. All right. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up in the GNT as well, and then we'll go into a few things, all right, that's happening in the news, okay, because the Lord, has prophecy speaking, all right, the devil is busy, he's on the back foot, all right, and he's, he has a hell of a task, okay, to try to upset, the will of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. So let's see, let's pull this up. All right, this is the book of Matthew chapter 26 and verse 41. All right, this from the brother servants of Yahweh Shah 144. It says, watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Okay, the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh, okay, is weak. Okay, so we're coming into a time, as you go into the scriptures, okay, it talks about, the time of what? The time of a great tribulation. So in this great tribulation, those that live in the flesh, they're going to fold, okay, they're going to fold and bend the knee. Those that survive, okay, this turmoil, they're going to fold and bend the knee, man, because why? The flesh. Okay, the flesh loves this current world. The flesh wants to survive. The flesh wants comfort. Okay, so the flesh is weak, and that's what Esau is going to play on people's flesh. He knows people want to live. He knows people want comfort. He knows people are going to be vulnerable for any solution. Okay, because the flesh is weak, but see, the spirit, okay, is willing to suffer for the promises of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Okay, the spirit is willing to be dead to this world. Okay, the flesh has a longing for this world, man, and that's why this grace period was us, growing from being fleshly to being in the spirit. Okay, to where we're governed by the spirit and not the flesh. We still in the flesh and we have to deal. Okay, but we don't want to be governed by the flesh. Those people that are governed by the flesh, man, they're in the fold, man. They're going to be weak to these times. Okay, they're going to try to save their life, as the scriptures say, and lose it through the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. So the scriptures, all right, Yahweh Shai, this is Yahweh Shai speaking himself. He's saying, look, watch and pray, man. So we're watching, seeing what's happening, filtering through the scriptures, and we're praying, for the Lord to have mercy on us. We're praying for faith, courage, patience in these times. Okay. So let's let's go here. All right, because a lot of our people, are getting ready to depend on Esau. Our people is going to openly choose Satan. Okay. Now, when you go into the book of Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1, and this is in the GNT, it said, the Lord has spoken. Those who rule Judah are doomed because they rebel against me. They follow paths that I did not make and sign treaties against my will, piling on sin, all right, piling one sin on another. Yeah, because this C-hip is like signing a treaty with the devil, with Esau, with you're signing a treaty with the nation that the Lord hates. You take this C-hip, okay, and the leaders of this people, all right, we know this devil is going to push, this technology through what? The leaders of the people, which are celebrities, all right, athletes, entertainers, rappers, singers, okay, certain podcasters, okay, because we really finna see, who's really down with this beast system. Okay, we really finna see who are sellouts on a whole nother level, man. Okay, because they're going to be called, all right, to market, all right, this technology as the way. Okay, and in this time, you take that C-hip, that's like signing a treaty, okay, with Esau, man, with the nation that the Lord hates. Okay, and it's in blood because as you get pricked, there's blood. Okay, that's a blood covenant. Okay, with Esau, man. He says they go to Egypt. All right, just speaking of America, which we know, America's at the forefront. All right, of this new world order. Okay, the American society, all right, is behind. Okay, but this American system, all right, this economy, the military, was the main tool that they at least used to hammer the earth, okay, into this new world order system. Okay, it was this American system that, the elites, because remember, the American system is separate from the American society. The elites operate the American system. Okay, the society, which is the population of America, that's a whole nother thing. All right, the elites don't care about the American society. Okay, but the American system, this petrodollar and this military, this was a tool used to onboard a lot of these nations onto this concept of a one world order, man. Okay. So it says, reading on, it says they go to Egypt for help without asking for my advice. Yeah, so you're gonna go down to this system. Okay, this system is getting ready to transition, all right, into a new order. Okay. A lot of our people are getting ready to go down to this system, man. And right, and take this counsel, because Esau is going to counsel people that, look, this is the way, this is going to solve everything. Every complaint you got, this technology will solve it. AI, is so efficient. It can do this, it can do that, and this devil, he could pull out, another, advanced level of AI, which is still limited, but he can pull out something that the masses haven't seen, and woo them into, like, oh, lying wonders, man. Okay, it's not, he can make it seem like it's a God. Okay, it says they said they want Egypt to protect them, so they put their trust in Egypt's king, but the king will be powerless to help them. You'll see, this C-hip is not going to protect you from the judgment of the Lord. Okay, having this device in you is not going to protect you from the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. You see, there's an authority that's above Esau. And see, most people look at Esau as the top authority. Okay. Most people look at Esau as where authority starts and stops. Okay, him and his technology, man. Okay. But we come to understand in the truth, man, that nah, man, there's an authority that's operating above Esau, man, that has the last say so. Okay. It says, but the king will be powerless to help them, and Egypt's protection, all right, Egypt's protection will end in disaster. Okay. It's gonna this whole New World Order plot is gonna end in disaster, man. He's gonna get to a certain point. Okay, he's gonna get to a certain degree, but it's gonna end in disaster, man. Okay, it's gonna end in complete disaster what the devil is trying to establish on the left hand side, because this is complete rebellion against Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Okay. Yep, as the brother got here, and this is nothing new. As the scriptures say, there's no new thing under the sun. All right, as the brother, okay, this is First Maccabees 1:43. The brother Uriah Yasha'Allah said, yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath, man. Okay, and a lot of our people are getting ready to consent. Okay, a lot of our people are getting ready to consent, to this New World Order. Okay, because they love this current age. Our people love this society, even though they're catching hell, some financial strain. All right, but there's still a layer of comfort that they have. Okay, and for our people, this is the end all be all. All right, they can't see a society not ran by Esau Edom. All right, with this current, do as thou wilt. Okay, social media, the casual dating, the hookup culture, and you see, they love this, man. Okay, they don't really have to have accountability. They don't. They just get to be, slaves in another man's kingdom, to where they can just, thrive off. They can, be comfortable with this man's crumbs. Our people have become very comfortable in captivity, man, and they're getting ready to consent. Okay, and then on the and even they see, all right, Esau's own people are bucking up against this society. Okay, our people still, are willing to trust this man. They're still willing to allow this man to goddamn put technology in them, cut their goddamn head open, put a neuro lace in their ass, man. Okay, they fully trust this man. Okay, well now, man, we trust in our power in these last days, man, and we trust, what he said he was going to do. Okay, so let's go from there. I got this video. If a brother could post that second Ezra 15, because these Edomites, these these average Edomites are getting riled up. Okay, as Esau is beginning to use eminent domain, taking their land, all right, destroying these rural areas with these data centers, these death centers. Okay, these they're learning, that this AI, is a fraud. Okay, they're learning that these devils are really wanting to use AI to control, the masses, and you're starting to see, an uprising, against the system, man. Which the Esau is going to twist it in his favor, because he wants to come down, all right, with brute force on the masses, man. Okay, because he wants to break the wheel of the American society, man. Okay, so this man is finna get real dystopian, all right, and draconian, okay, with the measures that he's going to take, okay, and rolling out this new world order, and just like, this devil, because we know one thing, because what these devils do, when you go into, I forgot their fighting style. Let me look it up real quick. But this is what these devils do. Let's see. It's a fighting style. Yeah, there you go. All right. So you got certain fighting styles like judo, all right, tai chi, all right, and akata. All right. Now, I'm bringing this out because, as these people are beginning to do, as people are beginning to uprise against, this technology, against, the data centers, what the devil does, he takes the momentum that's already there and he'll use it to his advantage. And that's an actual fighting style, because you had one of these KBG, it was in, I think it was in the 80s. He defected. He was a Russian KBG, which is like American CIA, and he defected to America. And he was telling the secrets of how, you know, secrets of how intelligence agencies, you know, how they use the momentum, okay, that the people are already going in against them. You know, so as people are uproaring against these data centers, where they're going to use that momentum, you know, against the people. You see, so they're going to begin to lay out the framework to accuse people, you know, to create this new, you know, extremist category. Okay, you know, that you best believe they're going to start, you know, inserting false flags and, you know, attacks, you know, on certain infrastructure to demonize, okay, to further demonize the people, okay, because we know these people, according to prophecy, man, they're going to disregard, you know, their kings and princes, which are, you know, the leaders that have been set up, you know, over them, man. Okay, so real quick, let me, I'm gonna play that. But that's what we see, you know, because you can have an authentic uprising, but this devil, he always what you call COINTELPRO is everything, you know, even with the truth, you know, that's why you have certain Asian camps, because that's this devil, you know, this COINTELPRO tactics of trying to use, you know, the momentum that's already started, you know, to work against the enemy, you know, to work against his opponent. Now, he says martial arts. All right, martial arts, they're using the opponent's momentum, rely on redirecting force rather than meeting head on. The most prominent systems include Aikido, which blends with redirects attacks. It says Judo, all right, which uses off balancing and sweeping. It says in Tai Chi, which redirects energy via soft movements, man. Okay, so you have this thing with this guy, you know, who's supposedly supposed to have been uh you know, organizing the protests against data centers, and he got charged with you know, 2 felonies, okay, for stalking, and there was another felony he got, no, one over for stalking, all right, and like threatening, okay, because they framed his words, you know, as if it was a threat to a politician's children, you know. Now, you know, whether this is authentic, okay, or this devil, you know, he's trying to set a precedent, all right, because we know, you know, certain things are staged, certain things are authentic, you know, certain things the devil, you know, stages, all right, to forward his agenda. But either way, it's about the results, okay. So this is an update, you know, going into this guy that we watched yesterday that was detained, okay, in Illinois, all right, and this I think Dixon, Illinois, you know, where they're getting ready to build another data center, and he was supposed to protest. Okay, now there's some more information on it. Okay, going into it. Okay, so you know whether this guy, you know, was set up, you know, whether this was authentic. Well, this is going to set a precedent where more people, okay, are gonna rise up. You know, then this devil, he's gonna seem justified because whenever Esau is trying to position himself as a victim, okay, this nigga already has a counter in place, man. Okay, there's gonna be it's gonna be atrocious, man. Okay, you know this whole thing with October 7th. You look at, you know, what happened in Palestine October 7th. Well, he set that thing up and he pushed all this propaganda, and then he's been at war in their region, all right, ever since then. Because he already that's what he wanted to do. Okay, he wanted to do a demolition of Gaza, you know, because they got smart city, you know, the smart city agenda in their region in Gaza. Okay, so his whole thing, he wanted to do a demolition with the military in their region, man. That was just a demolition, man. Okay, and they plan on building a smart city on those dead bodies of those Palestinians, man. Okay, but he had to play the victim first, you know. So when you see the devil, all right, positioning himself as a victim, he finna lash out, man. Okay, So let's play this.
As a data center development opportunity. Harley Delander, that's that guy of Dixon, Illinois, a small city about 2 hours west of Chicago, was arrested on Wednesday outside his home after the local police department accused him of making threats against former state representative Tom Demmer. Demmer is now the head of a local business association that's trying to attract data center operator into the region. About 10 miles west of Dixon, a 387-acre plot of farmland is being pitched to potential operators as a prime data center development land by Lee County Industrial Development Association. Demmer, the former state representative, is the association's president. Delander posted a TikTok video of his encounter with local law enforcement on Thursday. It has garnered 250,000 views, along with a slew of commenters who have thrown their support behind Dixon, the Dixon resident. The Dixon Police Department said on Thursday that Delander was charged with 2 felonies, intimidation and stalking, after it received information about his communication with the former lawmaker. The department alleged that Delander knowingly and willfully communicated threats and engaged in a course of conduct that caused concern for the safety of Demmer and his family. Wow. So the people putting data centers in their community feels threatened by somebody else. It's like cancer being threatened by your house.
Hey, it's like AI is like, real Israel, artificial Israel, which we're getting.
So in an interview with Business Insider, Delander said he started organizing a protest on Facebook on Wednesday that would take place near Demmer's house using an address he found on the internet. He also said he sent an email to the former representative asking him to recuse himself from his position, along with the wording, "If you know what's good for you and your family."
Well, he said, I don't remember.
So supposedly this guy, told the this ex-politician, that he was gonna protest outside his house. Okay, and he used the word, "If you know what's good for you and your family," and they said, well, that's a threat. Okay, which if he said it like that, then because we know it's the devil. You see, it's the devil, so he takes things and twist it and spin it to his narrative. So he uses this momentum. If this was an authentic thing, all right, this guy, if he was saying it like this, that was kind of reckless. All right. And what did the devil use? He used that momentum. And now this nigga got 2 felonies, man. Okay. You see? So that's why, our apostles and elders always tell us to be mindful, how we title the lessons, what we say in these lessons, which at the end of the day, I say they're going to put us in every extremist category that they got. Okay. But we just want to be blameless. All right, and not to give this nigga anything, man. Okay, he's just gonna have to lie. He's just gonna have to flat out lie. Okay, so we just be blameless on our end and be mindful, have discernment, move in wisdom. Okay, but at the end of the day, this devil, as the scripture say, he's gonna be the accuser. Okay, of the brethren, man. Okay, because we know his target, what he's working his way to, man, and that's the prophets. Okay, yeah, so let's play a little more of this.
The cop saying he said that. Is that what he said?
That's what it says. But he said, if you know what's good for you and your family, you'd be against this. That's his point.
Right. I don't. If you know what's good for you is like a cliched thing. I would say. I was very stupid way to word. If that's how he worded it, that's very stupid.
It was a stupid way to word it. He said, what I meant by that was the sentence prior to that. I said, your address is public information, and I can protest in front of your house all day and night until you gain humanity and ban this data center.
Yeah, so this guy was saying he's going to protest at the house all day and all night. And I said, this could be authentic, man, because people are fed up. People are getting sick. People are getting respiratory, noise pollution. Okay, the light bills are going up. So, people are fed up, man. People are fed up with the AI, man, trying to figure out, okay, this AI, this real, like it's People are really fed up with what this man is trying to present, okay, to the earth, man. You see, you're gonna have those, those simple believe every word, but then the scriptures say, every hand of the wicked shall be upon him, man, and how they should not regard. Let's go here. I think the brother got it. Okay, let's get this. The brother, Yashima. All right, this is brother Yashima, tribe of Judah. Says, for the sword, all right, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another people, and swords in their hands. And see, you're going to have people that are pro AI technology, and you're going to have people that are anti AI technology, man. Okay, just like you had the pro juice, the pro, the anti juice. Okay, that was a big thing, man. So it's going to be another division. It's going to be another layer of division amongst our already divided society, man. And right, and when resources get scarce, okay, because you still got this energy crisis looming. Okay, that's still a factor. So if these resources get scarce, all right, we're going to see more and more people, all right, get desperate, man. When all right, when the desperation knob is turned up, okay, because of lack of resources, okay, these peaceful protests are going to become violent, man, and they're going to start searching out, these certain politicians where they live. They're going to be going to these meetings and not to just, protest, man. They're going to be going to get busy, man, because there's going to be a lot of people out here with nothing to lose. Okay, we're coming to a time, man, that these certain crises hit, the energy, lots of energy crisis, these food crises, these food shortages, these water shortages. And when these things actually hit, man, these people are going to be out here, for blood. Okay. It says 2 Ezra 15:16 says, for there shall be sedition among men, and in invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their own power, man. So we know, according to prophecy, man, all right, that these people, okay, are just going to lose it. Okay. And America is going to be full of crash outs, man. Everybody's already primed to crash out. Okay. Everybody's always is already primed to just completely crash out. You see people, the sentiment in the world is people don't care. People, if people don't care about waking up, that's a common, all right, saying in this society is that it's okay if I don't wake up in the morning. They ain't reached the point to where they just want to, they got the nerve to unalive themselves, but they wouldn't mind not waking up in the morning, man. Okay, so people are already primed, all right, to crash out, man. Okay, so let's play a little more of this.
Well, that's optimistic.
Yeah. He said that he was arrested about 12 hours later at his house. We'll be carefully evaluating the important First Amendment issues that stem from a case of this nature. James Mertes, the Sterling-based civil attorney who was representing DeLander, told Business Insider. Cases involving data center opposition are going to be more prevalent as more and more data centers prop up. You think? The case is another example of how the recent proliferation of data centers amid the AI boom has sparked heightened tensions between developers and local communities, often in small towns and rural areas where the facilities are being built.
Yeah, well, that's where it's the most corrupt and easy to do that, right? And now that we're merging the military with Israel, we can more effectively control these terrorists. And I welcome it, for one, Jimmy.
I welcome it.
If you know what's good for you and your children, you will welcome this. Small towns.
Yeah, if you know what's good for you and your children.
Not a threat. I'm telling you what's good.
Power of the People says our government and both parties are completely owned by the tech billionaires who are writing our entire economy to usher in their AI techno-capitalist dystopia. This is why you are seeing the government do whatever it can to silence any and all opposition to the dystopian nightmare their tech billionaire owners are pushing on us. From labeling anti-data center protesters as extremists to now arresting people for planning protests. The U.S. government is actively attacking and jailing its own people to protect the tech oligarchs that it's actually served. So keep in mind, as I've told you.
And people are coming to this conclusion. Okay. You know, just says our government and both parties are completely owned by the tech billionaires who are rewriting our entire economy to usher in the AI techno capitalist dystopia. Okay. You see, so this is becoming common knowledge. Let's get that in what Jeremiah 49:10. You see, this is the talking points amongst the masses. Like, nigga, this is an AI techno capitalist dystopia, man. You see? So the American society is refusing to put on, all right, this new world order outfit, and that's why these devils got to come on, all right, something major. Okay, like I say, these people are already prone, all right, to crash out. Okay, people are already prone to crash out, man. Like I say, they're taking land, they're taking everything. Okay, the least, hey, you don't have a government. Okay, you do not have a government. Okay, you have been fully given over to technocracy, man. Okay, that's why no matter what you vote, no matter who's in office, no matter your local officials, no matter what's decided, no matter the laws that's already in place, no matter your constitutional rights, none of that matters anymore. They're doing what they want to do. The EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, irrelevant. USDA, irrelevant. Okay, FDA, irrelevant. Okay, anything that's supposed to be a service to the people, all right, on the government level is irrelevant, man. On state level, federal level, local level, municipal level, irrelevant. Okay, you've fully been given over to the technocrats, man. Okay, and they're gonna come with it, all right, to they know they're gonna have to bring the terror to you Americans, man. All right, and you Americans are already on edge. Now, real quick, I wanna this video was hilarious. All right. This where people at, man. So imagine you take away, all right, food from these people, man. Check my guy out, man. Let me
Our
see.
brain and nervous system are the most complex networks in existence. At Neshoba Neurology Clinic.
Is anybody under the car?
No.
It's the heart-stopping moment an enraged driver crashes right into a car dealership.
I told you. Whoa! Call the cops!
The men inside can't believe what just happened.
Is anybody under the car?
No.
Tyler Slade is a manager at the Mazda dealership in Sandy, Utah.
It was kind of a very, very scary situation.
The manager says earlier in the day, the driver had purchased a used Subaru Outback for $4,000.
Several hours later, he came back and he was very emotional, upset about the vehicle. Had been to his mechanic, said there were some things wrong with it, and he would, like to get his money back. He said, "Listen, if you don't give me my money back right now, I'm going to run this car right through the front door."
Slade says the driver got so worked up, he got back in the car and hit the gas. You can see the driver getting cuffed by cops. And here he is, Michael Lee Murray. What on earth were you thinking?
I was just really angry. I was upset about my money. I kind of blacked out for a second.
But Michael, in what universe is it okay to do this?
I know I probably shouldn't have done it, but I guess I just hit a breaking point.
So imagine millions of America, all right, hitting their breaking point, man. All right, now that's the you could put that in the definition of crashing out. Okay, and a lot of these Americans are at their breaking point. Okay, I think that was like a year ago. But I want to let's go here because now we know the World Cup, and we get some of these pre-sales. But now we know that the World Cup, is supposed to be here. I think on June the 11th. All right, and there's so much surrounding this. Okay, which let me see. So now, there's a high alert, from the FBI, okay, about, the World Cup, potential, all right, terror threats, potential, spread of, the Ebola. So here it is, which hold on, we'll get into it, but let's get some of these precepts first. All right. Yep. So let's go. Here's your brother Tyler one hopeful elect, second Ezra 13 and 29. It said, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. Okay. So the days come, and we're in that time of deliverance, man. So as the Lord is preparing deliverance for the elect, all right, there's a tribulation, there's being conjured up as well. Okay. The Lord is orchestrating tribulation as well, because we got to be delivered out of the tribulation. Okay. And it says, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Okay. And it says, and one shall undertake to fight against another. And it says one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another, man. So it's division on every level in society, man. It's a division, and people are going to, because you're only going to be able to get it, what you, because when people break, okay, well, they're only going to be a threat to what they have access to. Okay, so your community, these neighborhoods, these cities, whatever you have access to, these people are going to become, a terror unto themselves, man. Okay, certain nation is World War III is going to go get out of hand. Okay, the nation's going to start really getting at each other on a whole nother level, you see, and eventually Yahushua is going to come, and intervene, deliver his elect, okay, and destroy the militaries of the earth, man. Okay, destroy this whole new world order, all right, in the enterprise. Okay, so let's go. This is the brother servants of Yahushua, Jeremiah 49:10. It says, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, his brethren and his neighbors. All right, and he is not. So before Esau, because Esau finna go into slavery. Okay, so before the Lord puts Esau in slavery, where he's unveiling this nigga, man. He's revealing to the world, okay, what this nigga really is, man. What he's really about, okay, and what he's trying to do, and what he's been about the whole time. Okay, so Esau is becoming completely bare out here, and he can't hide himself anymore. That's why he just got to come with it. You see, he just got to come with brutal force, man. So he got some things, planned, all right, that he's getting ready to do, to usher in a time of chaos, man, a time of tribulation. Okay, and it don't take nothing but a few events to get to a point, okay, a complete civil unrest, man. Now you have this thing here, something we'll watch, but like I say, now it's a high alert on these this World Cup, because you're gonna have countries from all over the world coming over to kick a goddamn soccer ball, man. Okay, so let's play this, man.
So we're hearing that the FBI has now alerted the 11 cities that are going to be hosting the World Cup and let them know Kash Patel has warned the FBI is going to be relentless in the World Cup crackdown, as we are hearing that there are various threats that are being posed right now. And the concern is of attacks on these U.S. cities, drone attacks, bombing attacks, lone wolf attacks. And we're also hearing there's also scams that are being presented and posed as well. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the 11 cities so you can know exactly who are going to be the hosts of the World Cup that they are going to be watching. Now, those 11 cities are Houston, Texas, NRG Stadium; Dallas, Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium; Los Angeles, Inglewood, California, SoFi Stadium; New York, Yours life. Levi State, Pennsylvania, in Boston, Foxborough, Massachusetts, the Gillette Stadium. We are hearing that these are the 11 cities that are going to be hosting, and you can see the headlines that have been coming out. FBI officials are taking steps to prevent lone offenders threats ahead of FIFA World Cup matches that are going to be taking place in Houston, Texas. Here is another one. FBI details Seattle's security threats ahead of the 2026 World Cup. Here is another one. Philadelphia is a no drone zone. So they are trying to think about all the potential threats, some that we didn't even think about, around FIFA, World Cup, and other special events this summer that are going to be taking place. And Houston officials are over-prepared, they are saying, for World Cup security. What to know about NRG perimeter, drones, alerts, and heat. They are preparing for every scenario, and we've been hearing the warnings coming out from the FBI. And also, there's concerns as well about Ebola outbreak puts Texas health officials on alert ahead of FIFA World Cup in Houston, as Houston is going to be hosting the team from the Congo, and we're seeing those teams where there are Ebola outbreaks that are taking place. So there is an assortment of concerns. And again, I'll put this back on the screen for you. We're going to be taking a look at the article, and I've got the video footage released on the warnings. But the FBI is saying they're going to be relentless.
Now, answer me this. What sense it make? Here it is. Congo is dealing with Ebola. Okay. Crisis. Okay. And Ebola, spread. So why bring them to one of the most densely populated cities in America, man? Okay. If you're really, concerned about the threat of Ebola, okay, why bring them to one of the most populated cities, all right, one of the biggest cities, okay, in America, which is Houston? Okay, what sense does that make, man? And how can the FBI stop the spread of Ebola, man? Okay, and it's to the point, man, that the elites, all right, they just play in your face, man, and they don't care nothing, and they don't respect you, America's intelligence at all. Okay. This doesn't even make sense. Okay, why not cancel the World Cup? Okay, it's just kicking a goddamn soccer ball. What's so goddamn vital about that this has to go on? Okay, and if it's so much, high threat, why have this event in all these different major cities? Okay, so we'll see, man. A lot of times a lot of these things, they hype these things up and it be nothing. And they be really, doing something somewhere else. Okay. But we just reporting these things, and we'll see, So let's play a little more.
On the crackdown of potential threats that are going to be coming to the United States as we host the World Cup. And again, those 11 cities is Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Los Angeles, California, New York, New Jersey, Miami, Atlanta, Georgia, Kansas City, Missouri, San Francisco, Bay Area, California, Seattle, Washington, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Boston, Massachusetts. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you concerned about a potential threat of attack to the United States in these cities that are going to be hosting the World Cup? There have been a lot of warnings that we're going to be having people from all over the world coming, and we are hosting this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think, especially with all of the world conflict that's taking place right now with the United States, Iran, China, we have also issues with North Korea, Russia. Are you concerned about the threat of potential attack? Now, right now, the FBI is saying there is no specific threat that they know of, but we are seeing that they are saying they are over-preparing and on the highest level of alert. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But I'm going to dive right in. I see people putting their thoughts in the comments. And before we do, though, if you could do me a quick favor, take a quick second. If you haven't done so yet and you appreciate the live stream, hit that thumbs up like button. It helps out the feed a ton. As you know, I cite all the sources, so the articles I'm going to be referencing, if you'd like to see them for yourself, they're going to be hyperlinked in the description. Put it on the screen, show you the dates, where they're coming from. It is totally free. Hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're somebody that's looking to start investing, I've been letting people know there's a QR code on the screen. If you're watching on TV, you can point your phone at it, go to the pictures, and you can go ahead and download the Public app right here with this QR code. Or if you're on your phone, you can actually use the link down below. You can open up an investing account in just minutes. I've had people literally do it while we're live, start investing, because a lot of people have been letting me know, Steve, I want to take advantage of this opportunity right now. I know that there's going to be fluctuations happening in the economy with everything going on. I'd like to start investing. If that is you, consider my friends over at Public. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some video footage. Now, this coming out in the past week as we received updates from the FBI to the various cities that they are warning about potential threats of attacks and various things. And they are letting the 11 cities know that they are going to be on the highest level of alert. Let's go ahead and take a look at this so that way you can see the latest for yourself coming out from the FBI warning as we are going to be hosting the World Cup event here in the United States. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Sean Matthews, who will come and speak to some of our tactical and response teams that will be present and prepared during the event.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Sean Matthews. I'm an Assistant Special Agent in Charge here in the Atlanta office over our Operational Support Branch. Under that branch is a lot of our specialty teams and assets that we'll deploy for FIFA in support of our partners. I want to highlight two of those as our bomb squad operations. FBI Atlanta bomb technicians will work hand in hand with APD and our other partner agencies throughout the FIFA events. Bomb techs will respond to suspicious packages, suspicious vehicles, or any other call outs necessary in support of the event. The public is encouraged to obviously see something, say something. If you do see something suspicious, please call 911 or call 1-800-CALL-FBI. A second area I would like to highlight is our tactical, SWAT and tactical presence during FIFA. FBI SWAT teams will maintain a high level of visibility around the FIFA events and will be downtown during all matches and fan days. Teams are highly trained and prepared to respond and to deploy at a moment's notice to any type of threat in the city of Atlanta. And their presence is intended to enhance public safety, and residents should not be a cause for alarm. They intentionally will be visible throughout the events. With those two things highlighted, I'll hand it back over to the FCC.
Yeah, man. So, this World Cup, we'll see, more than likely, because when they announce it like this, usually don't nothing happen. It's just, because they announce particular things, for the sake of distraction, to get people talking, but more so a false flag, I could see them using this as a super spreader event, Now I can see that, being the thing where they say, well, look, this team from such and such, they had 2 people that was infected. All right. They hung out at this bar and they went to here, they did this hotel, and now, so we'll see, man. We know that this devil have but a short time, man. Okay. And this nigga, he got to pull out all stops. All right. And he needs a major crisis. He needs a Black Swan event. He needs, civil unrest. Okay. Because hey, he gotta bring tribulation, man, to quell this rebellion against, his New World Order agenda, man. Okay. So let's get a few precepts, brother. Got some on the comment board. Yep. So let's get a few of these. This is let's see. Yep. The brother, Yahweh 144. All right, Job 20:27. It says, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity up. And it's the satellites, because this internet, runs off what these satellite feeds. Okay, so beginning with the prophets, this man's iniquity is being put out there for the masses, man. These whistleblowers, these insiders, these different alternative news. Okay, so it's just a flood of information that's revealing this devil's iniquity, his wickedness, man. Okay, and what's happening is, hey, there's an uprise against this system, man. You know, you have your simpletons who, all right, are going to walk, you know, willingly into this new world order, all right, this digital enslavement, okay, and you're going to have those that are going to go in kicking and screaming, okay, and there's those that are going to resist through blood, man. Okay, so we're seeing these things happening, you know, and formulate real time, okay, because this is prophecy speaking. So this is Job. It's like this is Proverbs 27:12. It's another from the brother Yaal on 144K. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Okay, and a lot of simple people, okay, well, I said they're going to willingly walk into this thing, man. Okay, you have a lot of our people that are simple as hell, you know, that are going to walk right into this thing. You see, they're going to believe the hype. All right, they're going to believe the lying wonder, okay, of this technocracy as a utopia and not a digital enslavement. Okay, a lot of people are going to be simple as hell and go straight into this thing, man. Okay, but see, the Lord has the prudent, man, beginning with the prophets, you know, like calling this thing out, man. You know, and see, we know we have a true paradise coming, and that's going to be the kingdom under Yahweh Shai. So Esau can't sell us this off-brand, all right, utopia through technocracy, man, because we know we have a real paradise coming, an everlasting paradise. We know we're going to get those new bodies. We don't need, all right, transhumanism. No, we're going to really be transformed, okay, into a higher being with these new bodies, man. Okay, so Esau has nothing to offer, okay, the elect, man, in these last days. You see, this is brother this is brother's second this is brother servants for Yahweh Shah, 2 Corinthians 2:11 said, at least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, man. Okay, and we know this man is a liar. All right, we know he's a devil, okay, that the Bible speaks of, and we know, all right, that we got something far better, man. We know who we are. We know who our power is, man. And our faith and our expectation are in the promises of our power, man. Okay, not in the deception of our enemy. You see, the Lord will, you know, we keep that mindset until the end. All right, so, all right, I'll leave it there. You know, so Lord will, you know, you brothers, all right, and you few sisters will edify once again. I'm going to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful like Shalom.